fuck is going on.
Yeah.
You wanted to take Druid because, admittedly, I'm not actually that good about the Druid. My
I'll take
ones.
Druid. I'll take Druid. Yeah, I can take this. I like the Druid. I'll tell you that right now. We'll start with the optional class features this time. So extra spells, I'll just rattle off a few. So protection from good and evil. You've got Augury, Enlarge and Reduce. Summon Beast, which is Summon Beast new? Summon
Hang on,
Beast
what?
is in this book, isn't it?
No, it's in.
Summon Beast is new from this book, isn't it?
Hang on. Sanafar's Guide to a Thing.
Oh, okay. You've got Aura of Vitality, Summon Fae, which I think is new for this book. Fire Shield, Summon Celestial, that's new for this book. Cone of Cold, Flesh to Stone, Symbol, Incendiary Cloud. Yeah,
some of these are stupid. Why? What the fuck was going on when they put together the spell list? Because Cone of Cold not being a druid spell
doesn't feel as cohesive with the class that the other ones have. The Bard and the Cleric and the Artificer. It hasn't really felt as cohesive as those, has it?
No.
Interesting decisions there. Anyway, at level 2, you can summon a spirit that assumes an animal form. So instead of using a wild shape to wild shape, you can essentially cast Find Familiar, which is cool. I know a lot of people that play druids that would like that ability. Is it worth spending a wild shape though? I'm not entirely sure.
So and does it disappear once you do it again?
It doesn't say.
If it's casting Find Familiar, it will just be till it's knocked out.
Yeah. That's fine then. I mean, that's going to be with you for a while.
But
as long as it doesn't die.
You think about like the tankiness you can get as a druid because of wild shape. Like you're sacrificing a lot there for very little because most familiars are dog shit. Like one of the things that I might make one of my videos on in the future that we've been talking about is fucking animal companions in D&D can suck a dick in most cases because they're so bad. They're so bad. But yeah,
that's why you have a ranger. If you want an actual useful companion, take a ranger.
But even those ones are.
Druid also has cantrip versatility. So whenever you would get an ASI, you can swap out a cantrip. Not going to discuss that again. So we've got a couple subclasses here. We've got Circle of Spores, which is a great subclass. I'm not going to go into any details on that because it's already been printed in Ravnica. One of the books I don't own, actually, and I have no intention. I don't really care about the setting. But it is a good subclass. I really like it.
They did make a change to Spores, actually, that I will take time. So one of the things that Spores took a lot of flack for was the fact that it did poison damage. Like a lot of its abilities were poison damage, but a lot of shit is immune to poison damage. So they have changed a lot of the abilities to do necrotic damage instead.
It does
so
make more sense.
If you are using the old Spore, make sure that you update it because otherwise you're going to be stuck not being able to damage fucking undead, and you're like, what? Why? So, yeah, make sure you do that. Make sure that you're aware that it does necrotic damage now. That's the only thing. We don't need to go into anything else apart from that.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've got
Circle of Stars.
Circle of Stars. I really like the idea of this one, and the artwork for this is fantastic. Do you want to put the artwork up on the screen while I go through it? Yeah, that tiefling, that starry boy. I really like the artwork in this book on the whole, to be honest. What does Tasha say about this Circle of Stars? She says, "What about the dark places between the stars? Don't you realize that that's where the good stuff is?" Is that a hint? Are they telling us that Spelljammer's coming, Adderson? Please tell me they're telling us that.
Once Spelljammer's coming, we're back round your house, COVID or not. Like, I want that vote.
All right, let's have a look at the Circle of Stars. So, level 2. So you've created a star chart as part of your Heavenly Studies. It's a tiny object, and can serve as a spellcasting focus. Blah 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 blah. While holding it, you get the Guidance cantrip. You have Guiding Bolt prepared, which doesn't count against your spells known. You can cast Guiding Bolt without expending a spell slot equal to your proficiency bonus. So the Guiding Bolt's really going to be this druid's bread and butter.
So, Guiding Bolt's such a good spell.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good spell. You got some options there for what to make your star map look like. So one example is a glass disc that depicts constellations, and there's a few others there. I'm not going to read them all. But now let's get to the main thing. Huh?
Can't lose the map.
Yeah.
If you look at it, says if you lose it, you can perform a magical ritual to create a replacement.
That's the same thing with everything that you can have that you can lose. It kind of takes away the danger of losing things like that, doesn't it?
Not like a wizard spellbook. Like
yeah.
wizard spellbooks get lost.
Yeah. Anyway, we have a starry form, something that you can use instead of transforming into a beast. So as a bonus action, you can expend your wild shape feature, and essentially your body turns into like a starry Nyxborn night sky kind of thing, and you get a visible constellation on your body. And there's 3 different constellations that you can choose from. You get the Archer, the Chalice, and the Dragon. Now, Archer, Chalice, and Dragon, one of those things just doesn't sound like the others. One of those things is not like the others. So the Archer is really cool. You get a ranged spell attack. You essentially get unlimited arrows, and they do a 1d8 plus your Wisdom modifier worth of damage, which is kind of cool.
The Archer one.
The Archer is really cool. Joe is playing one right now in my Theros campaign, so look out for that when I eventually get around to the video of why she's now a druid and no longer a bard. The Chalice. So you get the Chalice of... you get the constellation of a chalice on your chest or wherever on your body. What this does is it restores hit points to people within 30 feet of you. 1d8 plus Wisdom modifier. And then finally...
Goodbye Circle of Dreams, by the way, because Circle of Dreams' main bonus action was to do this.
Yeah. Well, you do get a few other options with Circle of Dreams. But then you get the Dragon. And when you make an Intelligence or Wisdom check or Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration on a spell, you can treat a roll of 9 or lower on the d20 as 10. So yeah, if you're laying down like a heavy druid spell, like, I don't know, what, Wall of Fire, Wall of Thorns, something like that, and you really want to keep it up, this would be a good thing to starry form into.
Yeah, if you want to hold no spells, but admittedly, that gets really bad at us against certain things. There's a lot of ways to counter it, which makes it balanced, I guess. Like, but I get what you mean.
I mean, what are you going to have at level 3? You're going to have a 14 in Wisdom, so that's a +2.
Most spell DCs are like 13 at that round.
Plus your proficiency, so it's going to be 14.
Yeah.
So you can't roll less than a 14. 13, 14.
And most things will be 14 anyway. So yeah.
Level 6, you get a Cosmic Omen. So basically, it's like super augury. Okay, slight little bit of technical malfunctions there, but I believe we were looking at Cosmic Omens. So this one's kind of cool. It's very similar to basically the Bardic Inspiration, actually, I think. So whenever you finish a long rest, you can consult your map and roll a dice. If that dice is even, you get a wheel. If that dice is odd, it's a woe. And what you can do with that wheel is on a attack, saving throw, or ability check, you can roll a d6 and add it to that. If it's a woe, you can roll that same d6 and use it to subtract from an enemy's roll, which is kind of cool. Really like that.
Yeah,
it is very similar to the Bard, but the flavour for this Bard, for what it is, consulting the stars, it's very flavoursome. It's like it feels very reminiscent of the augury spell, I think, whilst also feeling very, very different to the augury spell. Is that even a thing? I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, augury. Yeah, it gives you wheel or woe, like literally, or even, or something like that.
I mean, I guess the same thing is that it's wheel or woe. Everything else is different about it. Level 10, you get Twinkling Constellations. So the constellations of your starry form improve the d8 of the Archer and the Chalice and becomes 2d8, and the Dragon. Whenever the Dragon's active, you have a fly speed of 20 feet and can hover. Moreover, at the start of each of your turns, while in your starry form, you can change which constellation glimmers on your body, which is kind of
Oh
cool.
shit! So you can switch out automatically without expending a.
Yeah, so you can run around, heal everybody with your chalice, fly up into the sky as the dragon, get yourself onto a ledge, change into the archer, and just start firing off arrows. Magical
The archer
arrows.
one is the coolest one, admittedly.
Yeah, Joe's having a lot of fun with that in my Theros campaign. If you haven't checked out what's happened in Theros, I've done 2 episodes now. Go watch them. Probably 3 by the time you'll see this. Who knows? And then finally, level 14, you become full of stars. So while in your starry form, you can become partially incorporeal, giving you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Now, there's a caveat here, and the caveat the caveat doesn't say from non-magical attacks. So me, as a DM, I interpret that to mean all bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage, regardless of magic or no magic. What do you think, Adderson?
I think same because it's incorporeal, isn't it?
Yeah.
So incorporeal usually means that you can't be hit by anything.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've only got resistance is pretty. Yeah. So I would say you become partially incorporeal, giving you resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and damage. It doesn't say not from.
Yeah, usually it would say from non-magical attacks, but it doesn't say this. So that's quite a lot of damage types. It's the main 3 damage types that you're going to be resistant to, which is
You're just going to have to hit them with spells forever.
Yeah. All right, that's the Circle of Stars. I quite like that.
I'll rate it.
Yeah, I rate it as well. I think the only thing with this is when you do Wild Shape, you're not getting the extra hit points that you would get from transforming into a beast, you know? Because you
get the ability to heal yourself all the time, which is pretty much the same thing.
No, when you wild shape into a beast, you get the hit points of that beast. When you lose those, you then revert back into your normal form, and you get your normal form's hit points. You're not getting that from the starry form. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just pointing it out.
But I think the ability to heal as often as you can.
Yeah.
Can basically, unless you're like knocked out straight away, you can always heal yourself, and especially when it becomes 2d8, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like,
and by the time you get to level 10, you can just switch your form at will anyway, which is cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the Circle of Stars. I think we're both in agreement that one's pretty cool. It's not the best.
Yeah.
It's not the best so far that we've got to, but it is a good one. I'd rank it up there. I'd rank it up there with some of the best Druid subclasses. Anyway, we've got one more. We've got the Circle of Wildfire. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't get this one. I don't get this one.
What don't you get about it?
I don't get how it's a Druid circle.
What, Wildfire?
I don't get why it's a Druid circle.
Wildfires are a very important part of nature. They're always in the news at the moment because, you know, they're exacerbated by global warming and arson and loads of other things. But, you know, take out the human element, wildfires are still going to happen, and wildfires are very much a part of nature. They're you know, it's life and death. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I can understand why you don't like it. So what do you get as this? What does Tasha say about this? Tasha says, I can't tell you how many times I've burned everything to the ground and started over.
Right. You're a fire starter. Twisted fire starter.
Hey.
It's a cover. Don't hit us on DMCA, thank you.
Now, so the first thing is you get the wildfire spells. There is one glaring disappointment that I have with this, Adderson. Let's see if you have the same thing. So level 2, you get Burning Hands and Cure Wounds. Level 3, you get Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray. Level 5, you get Plant Growth and Revivify. Level 7, Aura of Life and Fire Shield. And then level 9, Flame Strike and Mass Cure Wounds. What do I not like about this, Adderson?
There's no fireball.
There's no fucking fireball! If you're going to do a fire-based druid, give it fireball!
You've also missed out a massive part of this feature in the fact that you cast these spells through a fucking Firefox or something.
I haven't missed that out. That's the next thing in the book, Adderson. So, yeah, also at level 7, you can summon a Wildfire Spirit, which in the book it basically looks like a Ninetales, if you want to hold that up for me, Adderson. So you summon this primal spirit bound to your soul. As an action, you expend 1 use of your wild shape feature. Your thing has gone black. Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there. Expend a use of your Wildfire Spirit rather than assuming a beast form. I really like that they're giving, and I think this started with the College of Spores, they're giving alternate things to turn into, or alternate things that you can summon, alternate uses for your wild shape in general. I really like that. They're really expanding it.
Yeah.
So essentially you get this Wildfire Spirit that you can summon, and there's a little stat block for it. It's got 13 AC, hit points is 5 plus 5 times your druid level, so it's going to start off with 20 hit points once you get to level... No, it's going to start off with less than that. 15 hit points by the time you get to second level. And it's got a couple of attacks. It's got Flame Seed and Fiery Teleportation. The spirit and each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet of it teleport up to 15 feet to unoccupied spaces that you can see. That's cool. I didn't know it does the teleportation thing. That's awesome. Yeah.
I always want to call it Mozilla. I always feel like I'll call this thing Mozilla.
Love it. Where does it say you can cast spells through it? Let me have a quick skim.
In the thing, it says the reason why you have the new spells. You have formed a bond with a Wildfire Spirit, a primal being, a creature in destruction. You're linked to this spirit, so it gives you access to the spells when you reach certain levels in this class. You always have it prepared, and it doesn't count towards the number of spells you can prepare each day. If you gain access to a spell that doesn't appear on the Druid spell list, the spell is nonetheless a Druid spell for you. So basically, you store it in the Firefox. Or the fire thing, the Fire Spirit.
Okay. At level 6, you're going to get Enhanced Bond. So the bond with your Wildfire Spirit enhances your destructive and restorative spells. Whenever you cast a spell that deals fire damage or restores hit points while your Wildfire Spirit is summoned, roll a d8 and gain a bonus equal to the number rolled to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell. So this druid is very much life and death and rebirth and stuff like that.
It's like the Phoenix sorcerer that was in the UA.
Yeah. It's kind of, it feels like they took elements of that and added it to this. Plus, you got right there. You got Revivify as a druid spell. Level 10, you get Cauterizing Flames. You get the ability to turn death into magical flames that can heal or incinerate. Why isn't this called the Circle of the Phoenix?
This is what I mean. I feel as if it should be like the Circle of the Phoenix or something. I feel as if it shouldn't be, because I get that wildfires are like a thing of nature, but I feel as if the reason why wildfires are a thing of nature is because they're uncontrollable. Like, how do you have a circle that lets you control something that's uncontrollable?
Yeah,
that's more my problem with it. It's not the fact that I don't understand how they're a part of nature. It's the fact that wildfires are wild. So how can you have a circle that allows you to control them, sort of thing?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. But Cauterizing Flames, essentially you can do damage or you can heal with your flame companion. And then finally, Blazing Revival at 14th level. The bond with your Wildfire Spirit can save you from death if the spirit is within 120 feet of you. When you are reduced to 0 hit points and fall unconscious, you can cause the spirit to drop to 0 hit points, and then you regain half your hit points and immediately rise to your feet. Once you use this feature, you can't do it again until you finish a long rest. That's really cool. That's going to prevent you... assuming the Wildfire Spirit doesn't die before you, that can prevent a lot of death saving throws, can't it?
Yeah, it's also going to help, because a druid's usually like your auxiliary healer. So if they go down, everybody starts panicking.
Yeah.
But the fact that they can get back up... Again, I'm still... Leon, Phoenix... Phoenix.
It should be Phoenix. It really should.
Yeah. So you
could always flavour your Wildfire Spirit as a Phoenix. I mean, it does have a fly speed of 30 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the name. The name doesn't feel right. Yeah. This definitely feels more Phoenixy.
Yeah.
That Phoenix Sorcerer is only UA, isn't it? It's not official, the Phoenix Sorcerer.
I don't think it became official. I will check it now.
I'm pretty sure it's
D&D Beyond.
Whilst you're doing that,
But overall,
I'll give my rating whilst you're looking that up on the old Beyond. The Druid section as a whole, I'm going to give it 1 thumbs up. Circle of Spores, going to give it 1 thumbs up. The Circle of Stars, I'm going to give 2 thumbs up. And I'm torn. I'm torn on this Wildfire Druid, but I am biased entirely by the name. If this said Circle of the Phoenix, I would give it 2
Phoenix
thumbs up.
isn't a sorcerer. It was the sorcerer.
Okay, but
it was a UA sorcerer. It's just UA, yeah.
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. I'm gonna ignore my disdain for the name and give it 2 thumbs up.
I would say overall, like you said, I would say 1 thumb up for the whole thing. I give Stars 2. I really like Stars.
Yep.
Having DM'd for it as well. My friend Luke was playing the UA version. It's pretty much not changed. Very good, like very fun. Gives rise to some really odd bod characters. But I can't get past it. It's cool, so I'll give it a 1 thumb up. But I can't get past the disconnect. I can't get past the fact that, oh, it's Wildfires, but revival? I'm like, yes, I get it, slash and burn's a thing, but like, just call it a Phoenix, you know you want to.
Yep. Yeah, I don't disagree.